Today I want to talk to you all about evangelization, and that's basically what the Cursillo movement's about. And I want to share some different personal stories on my path and road to evangelization and doing what I've been doing today. Years ago I met Father Fox, who was with the Fatima Apostolate. Most of y'all know who he is, about 9 years ago. And about 2 years after I met him, I told him that I had an interest in writing articles. And I was really nervous about doing it because anytime we do things and we're like on a video or writing or giving something that we've done, you get embarrassed when you see it. You don't want to even see it half the time. So I knew Father's credentials and what he had done. He written over 50 books at the time. And so, but he encouraged me. He encouraged me to write. So I went ahead and wrote it. And the first article I wrote was called Evangelization, Winning Souls for Christ. And at the time, it was pretty close to when I made the Cursillo, so I was all fired up. So the article really flowed real well. But I gave it to Father, not knowing how it would turn out. And he said, I'll get back with you in a couple weeks when a magazine comes in. Well, one day I was at, I was at Mr. George's house next door to Father's, the little guest house up there. And me and my brother Danny, who is a non-Catholic, he's a Lutheran, we were slaving next door at Mr. George's doing a slab. I think I was getting paid about $3 or $4 an hour at the time. Well, that ain't too bad. I think maybe it was $6 at the time. So, but anyway, nah. So we was out there working on this slab, and Father yells out the door and says, "Hey, come over here. I want to show y'all something." And so we went over there, and Father said, "Sit down." So he brought the magazine in, the new magazine. And of course, I didn't look at any of the other articles. All I cared about was mine. So I went right to it. I opened it up, and you look at it. It's such a beautiful magazine. And I opened it up and looked at it, and I seen my article, and you see your name in print. It's like, wow. You know, you get a kind of a sense of pride when you see something like that. But it was a good pride because I felt like it encouraged me to want to keep doing this. And the funny part about the story is that my brother Danny was with me, and he's a non-Catholic. And he's sitting there. Father hands him the magazine, and he opens up to my article. He's sitting there going through the article, and I kind of look at his face, and he's kind of looking at it like, you know, kind of a strange-looking face. And Father went about 5 minutes and said, "So, Danny, what do you think about John's article?" Danny paused for a minute and told Father, he said, "I can't believe he wrote this. He's the least talented person in our family." Now, at the time when he said this, you know, I was kind of hurt my feelings. You know, your brother tells you that, you kind of, he really thinks that about me, you know. But after I thought about it and I analyzed my family, which they're talented in different ways, you know, music and singing and drawing and things like that, they're really talented. So in a sense, what he was saying was true because I wasn't talented like that. And it really made me think, you know, that you can do things if you really put your mind to it and if you have encouragement. And that's what's good about the Ultra, and especially this Ultra. There's a lot of people in here that can do a lot of great things and just encourage each other to do things. So, and then also coming out of your comfort zone. There's a lot of times, like me being up here talking today, it's difficult for me. It's not my comfort zone. I'm a laid-back, kind of an introvert type person. But through the years, I've forced myself to be in positions like this to try to get better. I called Paul to come give the talk today. He didn't call me. So, you know, you put yourself in those positions just because you want to better yourself. And I think we all need to do that because it'll help us when we're out in the world and we're talking to different people. It'll help us, we'll get more comfortable. It just comes natural. Okay, this next part of this talk is 3 reasons why people don't evangelize. We're going to go through those. Number 1 reason, of course, is easy. Fear. We're afraid to offend someone. We're afraid to speak out. And we all kind of have this built in. Some people are just natural about, you see people and they go up to them and they'll talk. And many times I've been with Mr. George, and every time we go, he evangelizes to somebody every time I'm with him, strangers or people that we know. And I'm not like that. I'm not the type of guy that'll come to you, say, hey, how's it going? It's good to see you. That's just not my personality. But you try to work into that because it helps you in business and it helps you in life. One thing that happened about 3 or 4 years ago when we built our Fatima Center in Hansville, Father made me the president of the apostolate, and I was all excited about it. You know, it's kind of like, wow, you know, this is a good organization. We can do a lot of good. And you get excited about it. And I remember when I built the building, Mr. George gave me a hard time because I put my name on the door and said, John Price, President. And I looked at that, you know, I was kind of, you know, you get a sense of pride. But at the same time, it comes with a lot of responsibility. And Father, we had a dedication ceremony set up. And Father invited 7 or 8 priests. He invited Deacon Steltermeyer, who was the chairman of the board of EWTN at the time. 7 or 8 nuns came. About 100 people from the community came. Well, before I knew all this, Father said, John, you know what? You're going to have to give up and give a talk today. And this is the first time I've ever given a talk besides at Altreo, and we only have like 4 or 5 people, 6 people at the time in our Altreas. So he said, John, you're going to give a talk. And I was thinking, can I take my name tag off the door and give it to somebody else, you know? Because it's just a fear overcomes you, you know, and it's just hard to get over that unless you, like I said, you keep putting yourself in positions like that. But anyway, I did the talk. It came out okay, I guess, and I made it through it. But it's just stages that we do in our life. We build ourselves up to the point to where you're at today. And it's even funny, after I did the talk, Father fussed at me. And in front of a couple of people, we're in his office upstairs, he said, you know what, you mumble when you talk. It must be the Alabama accent, because I can't understand what you're saying half the time. So then I started having to worry about the way I speak. Now I'd like to try to speak more like a northerner, you know, not like a Alabamian or a Cajun, you know, like a northerner. So you try to work on your articulation and things like that. But he said, you know, I'm telling you this because I want you to do better and I love you. That's why he said it. I want you to do better because I love you. And so it's something that, you know, you have to do and you have to keep working on. And we have to, like I said, get out of our comfort zone.